Hello everybody, my name is Emma, founder of A to Z Animal Care, a dog groomers and cat groomers in Betherston in Kent. I'm also a qualified veterinary nurse, and today I would like to talk to you about heat stroke, what it is, what it means for your pet, what you can do to prevent it, and how you can treat it, how you can remedy the situation in the early stages. So heat stroke is much more than just getting hot. For your pet, it really is a life-threatening condition. It changes the chemicals within the body, how the body works, and all the processes that supply the body with oxygen and energy and waste removal don't work anymore once the body temperature becomes too high. Technically, it's called hyperthermia, which is the opposite of hypothermia, which is what you'd get if you were very cold. But really it's just commonly known as heat stroke, and it's important to know about it so that we can prevent it and treat it if we have to. So the first sign that you're likely to notice with your pet is extreme panting. Pets don't sweat anywhere in their body apart from the soles of their feet, which is why if your cat jumps up on the side, unlikely that your dog would, but you might see sweaty little paw prints, but they don't sweat anywhere else. They're not like us, not like horses, not like other animals. They physically don't have sweat glands over most of their body, so they rely on environmentally keeping themselves cool, and they rely on panting, and panting works by evaporation. So as they pant, the moisture in their mouth evaporates, the cool blood is taken around their body, and that cools them off. If they can't get away from the heat, so if they're locked in a car, locked in a conservatory, on a very hot, say a sandy beach or a tarmac surface, unfortunately the body overheats quite extremely and causes a lot of damage. Panting is the most common one, but it really is a very extreme form of panting. They aren't able to stop. Sometimes they aren't even able to stop long enough to have a drink. They look very distressed. Their eyes can be described as glassy, and they bulge. Their mouth may look very red, and the surface of the mouth, the tongue and the gums, the mucous membranes become very dry, very inflamed, and that again is a way of the body bringing blood to the surface and trying to lose the heat. So the most important thing, and the very first thing to do, is to try and cool the pet's core body temperature, and usually this will involve water, using a shower or a bath or a paddling pool, or if you were out and about, even a pond or a water trough or the sea could be the answer to cooling them down. You don't really want to use iced water because that can cause shock, but tepid or cool water run gently over their body to cool them down. It does take a while, it's not an instant process, but you should notice a general calming of the pet, a reduction in the panting and the extreme dribbling, and then they are able to take a drink, they are able to find shade, they are able to rest and recover. If it's in the extreme stages and the pet is collapsed, so they've fallen down and they aren't able to get themselves up, it does require emergency veterinary treatment. It can be life-threatening. When I used to work in the vets, every year we would have one or two pets brought in that have been left in cars or gardens for sometimes very short amounts of time, and the pets would be extremely overheated and very, very poorly, and sometimes we could save them and sometimes we couldn't. They do die if they overheat too much. They can't process, they can't function, their brain and their organs cook. So it is serious. Any pet that you think has suffered from heat stroke, it would be a good idea to get them checked out. Sometimes the damage is done internally and you can't see it. Sometimes it takes a day or two to come out. So if their liver or their kidneys have become damaged by the heat, you might not notice that for the first day or two, but then they can go downhill and become very unwell and need extra care. So a veterinary checkup is always a good idea. But yeah, the key to remember is nice tepid cool water, 10 minutes, 15 minutes, however long it takes. Plenty of fluids by mouth if they can manage that. And a trip to the vets, wrapped in a cool wet towel, which you can continually add more cool water to allow that exchange from the body into the atmosphere of the overheating. Some pets are more prone to overheating than others. Puppies aren't able to regulate their body temperature very much at all when they're born, so young animals are extremely likely or prone to overheating. Very elderly animals at the other end of their life lose the ability to regulate themselves as well as they did when they were young and fit and healthy. Some breeds, known as brachycephalic breeds, but that really just means breeds with very short noses, so English bulldogs, French bulldogs, boxers, any of the breeds, whether they're crosses or pure, that have a very short face, the surface area within their nose and mouth is reduced by the fact that their face is so much smaller, and the heat exchange is not as effective, which is why. And also often their mouths are very congested. All of the material, all of the gums, the soft tissues that would usually fill an entire mouth overfill a very small mouth. Panting is not very efficient, and they're not able to lose the heat as well as other dogs. Dark animals, black Labradors, black dogs in general, that seek out the heat and then absorb it more than a white dog, are also at risk. But yeah, the main areas would be the very young, the very old, and the very short-nosed. Although having said that, any animal can overheat, and any animal can overheat extremely and become really poorly. So yeah, I've already done a little video about sharing ideas of how to keep your pet cool, but wetting the coat, providing as much fluid as they want, ice cubes in their bowl if they like, staying well hydrated and staying cool. If you have to move your pet indoors and shut them indoors on really, really hot days, do it. It's much kinder that they stay indoors and don't overheat. Also consider when you're walking them, to, very early in the morning or late in the evening, height of the day. If you're not comfortable to put the back of your hand on the pavement and hold it there for 5 seconds, don't walk your pet. Stay indoors. It won't hurt them to miss a walk or two on a hot day, but you could be in trouble if you end up over the fields and far away with a 40-kilo dog that's collapsed in a heap and has overheated, and you don't have any water and you don't have any help. It's a tricky situation to be in. So just think, would I step outside in my bare feet or my bare hand on that black tarmac? Would I run today? Would I follow a ball? Would I chase? And if you think, no, probably not, better safe than sorry. Just stay indoors. It won't do them any harm to miss a day or two. Yeah, so there you go. That's the signs of heat stroke. What you can do in the early stages. Remember to always at least speak to your vet. Even if you don't physically take your pet there, then do give them a ring just to check that you're doing the right thing. Yeah, consider all the ways in which you can prevent it. Prevention, as with everything, is so much better than cure. But yeah, there we go. Any questions, any comments, any thoughts, any extras, anything else you want to know, pop them in the comments. I'll be really happy to hear them. And as in the other video, if you've got any particular ways that you find really helpful for keeping your pets cool, share them. We'd love to know. And of course, a picture and a comment is a great way to do that. But thank you very much for your time. Hope it's been helpful, and see you soon. Take care. Bye now.